For our fantastic third act, let's get it going. You please welcome Mr. Joe Griffiths!
Thank you, and good evening. Scream in your heart. Anyone know what I mean by scream in your heart? No? No fans? It was one of the few great catchphrases, I think, to come out of the COVID-19 pandemic. It was developed by the Fuji-Q Highland theme park in Japan to try and encourage people to ride their roller coasters in a COVID-compliant way. So no shouting, no yelling. And there's a brilliant video online of two executives riding one of the roller coasters, stoic, masks on, emotionless, with a lovely little tagline saying, "Please scream inside your heart." And I think that actually applies to everyday life. I don't know about other people in the room, but I personally like to scream in my heart at least once every day, maybe 2 or 3 times on the more stressful occasions. And it's good because it doesn't attract as many funny stares as when you scream out loud as well. So yeah, some of you probably clocked the cut. It's actually a cunning disguise. So when I was shopping for this, I was looking for what is the coat you would least expect to see worn by a tax inspector. Revealed myself. So I was going for a bit of a Game of Thrones, King of the North thing. Fortunately, I've also been told I look a bit like a pimp who shops at Primark. It's okay. It's a funny job being a tax inspector because you don't always want to reveal yourself. You've got to read the room. You've got to sort of know your audience. Now, I trust you all instinctively, so I've let you into the ruse. But you find this most often when you're riding in a taxi or an Uber, and you know you don't want to say to a taxi driver, time you on till, time you start, you've been busy. There equally, you can sense it in them going, "What do you do for a living?" And initially, when I got asked this question at the start of my career, I struggled, I panicked a bit, a little scream in my heart actually. But fortunately, I've developed a couple of strategies or alter egos. First of all, a bit boring, maybe sounds boring, I simply say I'm an accountant. Now, you may not know this, but accountants, tax inspectors, bit of animosity, cats, dogs, Hull KR, Hull FC, Joe Exotic, Carol Baskin are the extremists. They're trying to save the client's tax, I'm trying to recover the tax. Inevitably, there's a rivalry there. But the good thing about saying you're an accountant is that the taxi driver will suddenly think they're in a safe space, and they'll reveal all the ways they fill the books, dodge HMRC, along with any sort of racist views they may hold. Now, I would like to make it clear that I didn't dob these people in. I may be a tax inspector, but I'm not a grass. This was for research purposes only. So, yeah, and then actually, it gets to the point, actually, you've heard everything to hear about how a cabbie fills his books. So I moved on to a new one recently, and now when I get, "What do you do for a living, mate?" I'll simply say, "I've just got out of prison." It tends to get a much better reaction than either accountant or tax inspector as it happens. So, I know this is sounding a little bit like a CV tonight, but I am going to move on to a previous job I had at Waitrose in Willoughby, customer service supervisor. And I don't know, I think it's one job, anyone who's worked in retail, you're going to scream in your heart quite a lot. It's going to happen. So I've got a few stereotypical customers I'm going to talk about, and just to demonstrate some of the entitlement you do get from certain Waitrose shoppers, not all of them, I must emphasise that. First, I'm going to start with the reduction shoppers. So you may have noticed this in some of your local supermarkets, where they've actually started barricading the staff member in, so they can just get on with the job, quite frankly, without people hassling them. You get people coming up to you, a piece of cheesecake or something, saying, "What are you reducing this? What are you reducing it to?" And just so you know, whenever you ask someone that, internally they're going to be thinking, "When you leave the store." The other one, the other time of year that changed a bit was Christmas. I used to quite like Christmas until I worked at Waitrose. I was working often behind the turkey counter, so these people from East Yorkshire, they've dreamt up the perfect Nigella Christmas, and they've got to have exactly the right thing. We're talking like a bronze, hand-plucked, corn-fed turkey crown. And you were the one who has to tell them, unfortunately, it's 0.2 kilograms lighter than they expected. Nothing to kill your festive spirit than being berated for something that really is not in your control. Fortunately, again, I had a strategy here, and that was to ply them with enough free Prosecco until they left the store. I say that is actually store policy. And then my last one I want to talk about, I also relate to turkeys, funnily enough, is what I call the turkey men. And I'm not being sexist, it's always men. So I'll see them coming in huddles on Christmas Eve, just before the big day. I'd do a little scream in my heart when I saw them, if I'm honest. But, and yeah, they'd be coming in, weighing up the turkeys, checking them for heft to see which is the best value one in their opinion. And then they proceed to go on nearly every staff member in the store asking the same question: "When are you reducing the turkeys? These aren't all going to sell, you know, we need to produce these. Christmas is not just about you. I know you've left it late, not my problem, quite frankly." And again, the internal answer, and you would get a bit fed up with these people, especially when you think they're like an extreme version of the reduction shoppers. you actually will be thinking internally, sir, I'm hoping we've reduced these turkeys when you've fucked off. And yeah, just before I go, I would like to take this opportunity to apologise to any taxi drivers, Waitrose customers, or indeed anyone who's just got out of prison, but not accountants. Thank you very much. Enjoy the
Mr. Joe Griffiths! Yes, sir.